Hello, students of FRCC and followers of the front page. Here I present to you with full-length interviews from my Robert F. Kennedy campaign story. There'll be 4 interviews in this video. First, the 3 students I interviewed, and then one of the volunteers of Kennedy's campaign, Anthony Morrow. We'll begin with Fatima Castro, followed by Zev Rudkin, and then Isaiah Lomley, before ending with Anthony Morrow. Please enjoy. What's your name?
I'm Fatima.
Fatima?
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. How do you feel about political campaigns advertising on campus?
I think they're fine. I don't see any harm in it. Yeah, I think it's nice to share point of views, but respectfully.
Okay. And do you know who Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is? And did you know that representatives from his campaign were here a few weeks ago?
I did not know that.
How do you feel about that?
I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's all I wanted. I appreciate it.
To be honest, I'm not that involved in politics.
That's okay.
Don't really. I know he's running for president, but I don't know anything about him.
Do you mind if I just ask the first question on camera?
Yeah.
Zev, right?
Yes, Zev.
I'm wondering how you feel about political campaigns advertising on campus.
I'm totally okay with it. People should be allowed to voice their opinions on whatever they want, as long as they're not too up in your face about it.
All right, that's great. I'll just use that clip if that's okay with you.
Sure.
All right, I appreciate it. I saw you there on the day that the RFK campaign was here. How do you personally feel about political campaigns on campus?
I think anyone should be able to have political campaigns on campus. Whether you're independent, I would prefer to see more independents instead of like Democrats or Republicans coming here and putting up a stand. But I think, I believe in the First Amendment, obviously, so that means freedom of speech, freedom of the press, everything that comes with that. So I don't think any political stand should be shut out, So, of course, then if it's like an extreme like neo-Nazi thing, but even then you still have to consider like freedom of speech. Like even those people that spew garbage, I think, have a right to say what's on their mind. Not necessarily because I think they're right, but because people need to hear how they think, and then people make an informed decision based on that, Like if you don't like what this person is saying, or if they're saying like really like rotten and evil stuff, then that's a loss for them because no one's gonna vote. So that's kind of like my overall view on that question.
And why in particular would you prefer independence?
I think, there's like, how would I put it? There's good and hardworking people on both sides, whether you're talking about Democrat or Republican. But I would prefer to see more independent candidates being out there. Like they always have this assumption that every single year that every election year, like you throw your ballot at an independent and you're like losing a vote, which isn't necessarily true. You're throwing your ballot away from the establishment, which in my opinion, again, everyone's entitled to think what they want to, like the establishment just panders to people and they don't get anything done. And we need to see new ideas overall in the entire political framework. I think we've seen a lot of the same being tried. I think it's time to get new blood in there and see what these people have to say, see what they have to offer.
Okay, so you were there the day that the RFK campaign was here. What did you think about his political stand?
Like his political stance or like his ideology?
More so the campaign being here on campus.
I thought it was great. I thought it was great that they're doing outreach here.
I see you got some of the merch.
Yeah,
You want to show the camera?
got some of the merch here.
Yeah.
And then I got some on my bed too.
Yeah, I saw that.
You guys filming or?
I think it was great. I think it's refreshing to hear from someone that is actually, again, everyone's reserved to their own opinions, but I think it's great that we're finally having people on campus that are talking about the real issues that Americans are facing. I don't think the two parties are doing that for whatever reason. Like, they're just kind of they're just like talking about like the major controversial issues that just divide Americans. I think it's great that he comes in with a message to campus about, bringing people together from both sides of the political spectrum. He comes with this message of overall unity, and I haven't heard in, what is it, like 2 years now since the last election cycle, anyone talk about unity, like, so I think it was great to have it stand here.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, I appreciate it. So
Yeah.
that's all. That's all my questions.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, anything else that you'd like to say?
I think that's I think that's all, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much.
Good morning.
Good morning. We'll start right off then. I was wondering what your title is at the RFK campaign.
I'm just a grassroots volunteer.
Okay.
You could call me a self-appointed lead, but I'm not paid by the campaign. I'm just a volunteer who believes in Kennedy, and so I'm out there supporting Kennedy as a volunteer, doing what I can to raise awareness, build excitement, and get him on our ballot, and hopefully into the White House.
Yeah. Okay. So what is that exactly? What does that entail?
Well, since he's running as an independent, basically that entails getting him on the ballot. And again, speaking just Colorado, that requires 1,500 signatures per congressional district, or around 12,000 signatures total in Colorado. We have a short window because our two-party system makes it very difficult for independents to run for office. So we have from May 16th to July 10th to collect those signatures. And they got to be verified by the Secretary of State's office. And then, of course, once we get him on the ballot here in Colorado, it just entails, getting his word out and hoping people will vote for him
Uh-huh.
to put him in the White House.
Yeah. And what do you do personally to ensure I guess signatures for the ballot in May, starting in May?
Well, right now we're just recruiting volunteers, training volunteers, preparing for our window to open up to collect signatures. We're identifying locations where we can do signature stopping signs, or have somebody stand like outside a business to do a signature gathering when May 16th comes.
Okay. And how long have you been working with the campaign?
So let's see, I first came out in support of Kennedy when he was running as a Democrat.
Okay.
I was actually an officer in the Democratic Party. So that goes back to probably late August, early September, when I first started getting involved with supporting Kennedy. Of course, in October, he went independent, and so I resigned from the Democratic Party because you can't support an independent candidate and be in the Democratic Party.
Okay.
And I came out in full support of Kennedy, but I've been hosting events, which allows us to identify other Kennedy supporters and then start to build that list to build our army to support Kennedy when the time comes, when our window opens May 16th.
Yeah. And you told me that you were working 12 hours a day or something. Is that for the Kennedy campaign, or do you have a...
No, that's my regular job.
Okay. Do you mind if I ask what that is?
Well, I'm an independent kind of a worker. I'm an entrepreneur, so I kind of go with the flow with whatever seasonal at that time. So, of course, right now here in Colorado, there's several petitions going around to get amendments on the ballot, and so to help prepare myself for signature gathering, I've actually taken a job with Fieldworks, which is currently doing signature petitions to help get the amendment or Initiative 89 onto the ballot, so we can vote to codify abortion into our Colorado Constitution.
Okay. Okay. Why I saw you guys. I don't know if you were there at Front Range Community College.
I was, yeah. I remember meeting you, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I was wondering what students should be interested specifically in Robert F. Kennedy.
So what issues students should be interested in?
Yeah.
Well, for me, being a past Bernie Sanders supporter, one of the things that really impresses me about Robert F. Kennedy is that, he talks about ending corporate capture, getting money out of politics, ending Citizens United. And I'm a firm believer that until we get money out of politics, our government's not going to change. We're not going to be able to pass the kind of laws that benefit the majority of Americans if we don't get money out of politics. And so that's one of the big things. It includes, he wants to rein in the military-industrial complex, end these forever wars.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's one of the things, as an old white guy myself, in another 20, 30 years, I'm going to be approaching my deathbed. But those of you in college, you guys are going to be the ones, ruling the world, making these changes. And so I kind of, follow what the youth believes in, and try to help support them and their issues, which includes, the environment. And that's another thing that really attracts me to Robert F. Kennedy is, he's been a lifelong environmental attorney, helping to protect indigenous rights, helping to protect the environment. He cleaned up the Hudson River. He protected Puerto Rican fishermen. And so that's, that in a nutshell is, when you look at what he's done in the past, it's just all the things that should attract the youth with respect to, like I say, he's for the environment. He wants to end corporate capture. He wants to rein in the military industrial complex, just to name a few.
Okay. Why specifically come to Front Range Community College, if you can speak on that?
Well, February was actually our volunteers. Each month we kind of have a theme that we kind of try to focus on something. And so February was our college outreach month. And in large part because, Kennedy is polling astronomically with those 40 and under. And so we wanted to basically reach out to the youth, reach out to colleges, and let them know that there is an active Kennedy support volunteer group here in Colorado, and just engage them and, find those that are interested in being more involved, and, plugging them in and getting them involved.
Okay.
And so Front Range College was just one of several colleges we've gone to thus far. We've also been at Pueblo Community College. We've been up in Westminster. Next week we'll be at the Littleton Community College.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're also working on trying to get into UCCS, Colorado College, and Pikes Peak Community College, just to name a few. We've got an event early in March at the Grand Mesa Community College in Grand Junction, and then another one in Durango.
Great.
And then, of course, all these events can be found at Kennedy24.com.
Okay. And this is kind of a harsher question, but what do you think the chances of the campaign accomplishing its goals?
I think they're very good. At no time in my lifetime, and really in the past 100 years, have there been more people registered as independents. Has there been more, what's the word I'm looking for? More dissatisfaction with our two-party system. And then, of course, Kennedy, with his name recognition, is the best chance that we have of electing an independent, like I say, probably in the last 100 or more years. So I think he's got a very good chance because, a lot of the country is tired of the two-party system's dysfunctionality.
Yes. Could I ask what drew you personally to help elect Robert F. Kennedy?
As myself personally being an anti-two-party system, I'm not happy with Biden. I'm not happy with Trump. And like I said for earlier, some of the things that personally drew me to Kennedy was his desire to end corporate capture, rein in the military industrial complex, his lifelong achievements as an environmental attorney. One of the big things for me was that he had the balls to do what Bernie Sanders never did, and that was leave the Democratic Party. So that tells me that he's not here for party politics. He's here for the people.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Lastly, is there anything else you'd like to tell Front Range students?
The youth is the future of this country. You guys are now, I think it's 18 and under, or no, 30 and under is now the largest voting bloc in American history. You guys have surpassed that of the baby boomers. And so you guys really are the ones in the driving seat. You can dictate future policy going forward. And it's just a matter of, making sure students are aware of this so they can exercise their right. Because democracy is not a spectator sport. It demands, requires participation.
Okay. If there is someone that wants to help with the campaign, they should just go to the website?
Yes, they can either go to Kennedy24.com and sign up right through there, or if they want to get involved with the local Colorado volunteers, they can email me at k24colorado@gmail.com.
Okay. All right, that's all the questions I had. Did you have anything else?
No, I think that covers it in a nutshell. Like I say, we start our petition signature gathering May 16th. We only have till July 10th, so watch for the petition circulators to be out there during that time frame. Go to Kennedy24.com. We'll be posting our events on there, and sign the petition to get them on the ballot, because we as Coloradoans deserve choice, and right now our two-party system is not giving us that.
Yes. Okay, I appreciate so much that we were able to do this. I'll make sure it gets into the paper.
Yeah, no problem. It's definitely my pleasure.
All right. Thank you, Anthony.